if you didn't say no when Spinelli asked you to marry him, did you say yes? Maxie, tell me you are not going to marry Spinelli.
I love Spinelli. He's the sweetest, kindest, most amazing man that I have ever met, and I am incredibly happy with him. Why would I want to mess that up and get married?
So did you tell him that?
See, to me, getting married is basically the opposite of being in love. So I want to leave things how they are. That sounds reasonable,
What did
right?
you tell Spinelli?
That I had to go to work and I would get back to him when I had the time.
That is so cowardly.
I think he'll get the hint and just not mention getting married again.
Spinelli doesn't get hints. We know this. Unless you look him in the eye and tell him you don't want to marry him, who knows what he's gonna do?
Thank you so much for responding so quickly to my distress call. It's very much appreciated.
What is it? What's wrong?
It's a situation most dire.
Are you in trouble? Where's she?
Yeah, he dispensed his advice and then left for the stone-cold mission of the day. But alas, I remain confounded, so it was my hope that Mr. Smith's preeminent protector could shed some light in an area where he has displayed great skill.
You need me to kneecap somebody?
No, alas. I require assistance of a far more tender and profound nature.
This is about a marriage proposal, buddy. I can't help you.
Has it not traditionally been the preeminent protector's assigned duty to procure the ceremonial jewelry for Mr. Sir's proposals for his assorted wives?
Well, yeah. When I picked up the boss's ring for Kate Howard, I messed up so bad that Diane thought I asked her to marry me.
But what did she say?
She said yes.
Right, that's exactly why. If you managed to procure a yes from the brusque lady of justice when she didn't even want to get married, then surely you can help the jackal in his reframing effort to propose to Maximista.
But why do you want to marry her?
Oh, why do the birds want to fly? Why does the sun shine and the moon quickly follow at every turn of the earth? Why does the wind blow?
The girl's crazy about you. Why do you want to mess it up?
As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my love. I sat down under her shadow, and her fruit tasted sweet to me. Such carnal pleasure had never been experienced by the jackal, and I dare say never by Maximista either. After singing at karaoke night, we at last became one, locked in a naked embrace of perfect symmetry.
I got it.
I want that glorious connection to continue. So, in the midst of our morning after, as it were, I proposed.
What did she say?
She proclaimed that she was late for work and fled the room.
Spinelli was just so vulnerable, which is really kind of brave if you think about it.
He is totally caught up with this courtly love thing.
Yeah, and I told him how I felt about marriage like a long time ago.
He has asked you to marry him before?
No, and I never wanted him to. I mean, Spinelli and I were alone in the church before Patrick and Robin's wedding, and that made me start thinking about when my mom married Mac. I thought of all the beautiful promises she made, and I stood there like an idiot and believed all of them. Less than a year later, she was gone. I mean, she walked away from me, Georgie, and Mac, just like my dad left her. I told Spinelli then that I could never see myself getting married.
So why didn't you say no when he asked?
Because when I'm with Spinelli, I believe anything is possible. I believe in myself, the kind of love that lasts forever. And then I thought, Patrick and Robin were having some problems, and they managed to work it out.
Oh my God, you are actually thinking about marrying Spinelli.
I love Spinelli with all of my heart, and if he wants to marry me so badly, how am I supposed to say no?
I'm no expert, but if you ask a girl to marry you even after great sex and she tells you she's got to get to work, she's either obsessed with her career or she's running away because the answer is no. I'm sorry.
You can't rule out the third option, however.
There is no third option. There's yes and there's no.
After a night of rare passion, after the cries of joy.
Spinelli, I get it. I don't need the details. Okay,
Maximista may have been swept away by your unexpected and intense...
Hey, enough! Let's bring it down a little bit.
All I'm saying was the proposal was as spontaneous and wild as the night before, and indeed the morning after. So maybe she doubted my sincerity.
She said no?
No, she never said no. She never said no all night, in fact. So, look, I know you can help me out. Please, just try.
I'll give it a shot. Metamorphically speaking. All right.
I await your instruction. Please give me advice as to how to propose to Max in such a way that it will guarantee an affirmative response.
You cannot marry Spinelli just to make him happy. It'll never work. My parents are the perfect example of that.
What? Your parents are, like, legendary. People are still talking about their first wedding and great romance.
Yes, they loved each other, there is no question, but my dad isn't marriage material just like you. He tried to be, but he couldn't do it, and they ultimately wanted different things, just like you and Spinelli.
Okay. So how am I supposed to tell Spinelli that I love him with all of my heart and basically want to be around him all the time? I just don't want to get married.
Hello, ladies. So nice to see you at your desks. And yet, are those phones rolling to voicemail?
Oh, they're back in order, thank God.
Nice save, Lulu. I'm sure that you're lying, but at least I know you can think on your feet. You may update my phone sheet. Maxie, you can get me the Coletta proofs. You know, that photo session that I approved and you completely changed without my permission while I was away.
What is the emergency? Has Mr. Grasshopper hacked into the FBI again?
It's a romantic emergency, actually.
Here now? What? Can't we just get a room at the Metro Court like we usually do?
It's not about us. Spinelli needs a little romantic advice. And nobody's better at romance than you, hon.
Well, there's no argument there. All right, so what are we dealing with?
Oh, okay. So, after singing to Maximista, we, spent a night of wild abandon and mutual lust, accompanied by cries of great joy. After which I, spontaneously offered a proposal to Maximista.
He asked her to marry him.
Right, which she did not refuse, but she did, exit the room in a rather rapid and, confusing manner, citing career concerns.
Maxie said she had to get to work, and then she bailed.
Yeah, so what would the Brusque Lady of Justice recommend in terms of trying to frame a second proposal, just in case she misunderstood the first one?
Oh, Mr. Grasshopper. You are a kind and loving soul. You are honest and you are brave. You can sing like a damn bird. You are in many ways immensely charming.
Well, gracious thanks.
However, when a man asks a woman to marry him and she flees the premises, that in itself is your answer.
So, how did this happen? I set up this shoot exactly the way that I wanted. I never gave the authority for even the slightest change, and yet... Is this in a park?
In Queens, where the World's Fair used to be like a million years ago.
Yeah, well, that's a pedestrian idea at best.
It's kind of what I was going for. Something to contrast against the clothes, a little more retro.
Maxie, did you think that I wouldn't notice? I wouldn't notice that you changed the concept, that you changed the location, that you sent it to the printers without my permission. Did it ever occur to you, Maxie, to just call me and tell me that you had a problem?
I did call you.
Well, all right, well then who gave you the authority to go over budget? Maxie, how did this happen?
Well, the day after you left for your cruise, the warehouse where the photo shoot was supposed to happen was flooded. They're still saying it's going to take 2 months to clean it up. We were about to lose the A-list models to other assignments, and the park was the only place I could get on such short notice. And then your concept didn't fit, so...
So you took it upon yourself to change the concept and the location and go over budget.
The budget for the shoot is actually down by about 20%.
We had to pay some cancellation fees. That's what drove the numbers up.
You know how I feel about excuses.
We might actually get some money back, though, because of the flood. Maxie made sure that I filed a claim with the insurance company.
Okay, Lulu, why are you standing up for Maxie?
Because I'm telling you what happened. She rebooked the models. She found the photographer. Maxie saved the October issue.
Yes, or she sabotaged me while my back was turned. I will look at the proofs. Let's hope that I'm pleased. You can close the door.